It is already early in the 2022 MLB season, but the season has already brought us some big headlines. One of those is this team on the West Coast that's got a guy by the name of Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani on it. The Los Angeles Angels started the season at 23-13 as of the time of recording, and that has brought up a couple storylines and questions about them. My name is Derek. Welcome to Bleacher Brawls, and let's dive into the question. Are the Angels legit contenders in 2022? So when it comes to Los Angeles Angels here in 2022, you really have to look at it from a previous season perspective. Look at the past few seasons. This team has the top end talent. You know, you have Trout, you have Ohtani, even guys like Rendon and Walsh. Rendon struggled a little bit in his time with the Angels, but was an all-star player with the Nationals. And Trout, Ohtani, and Walsh were all all-stars last year. And then you also add Raisel Iglesias in the bullpen. He was an all-star last year as well. So the Angels last year clearly had that top end talent with that group of guys. Obviously, last year there were some injury problems, but even if you go further back in the past, the Angels have struggled to find a supporting cast around Mike Trout and now around Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani to give him a legit chance just to even make the playoffs. Mike Trout's only made the playoffs one time in his career. So what are the Angels doing in 2022 that's been different? Because they're obviously have started off much better than they have in any other season. And there's really only one word to describe it, and that's depth. This Angels team here in 2022 has depth. When you start looking at their roster, you see guy after guy. Look at their lineup. You just see guy after guy. It's like, oh yeah, this lineup is deep. This isn't just Trout and Ohtani. This lineup, 1 through 7, 1 through 8 hits. And they do have a little bit of a hole at shortstop. They don't really have a shortstop that's going to really hit. But the rest of the lineup can pick them up and figure and kind of carry the load, so your number 9 hitter or wherever their shortstop's going to hit isn't going to matter, whoever's playing shortstop that day. But to move on, not just include the lineup here, you got to include the pitching. The pitching has also gotten deeper. There's more depth there as well. And I think this Angels team isn't to answer the question of if they are legit contenders, it's not just looking at the numbers. The numbers look great. The lineup's been very good. The rotation has the fourth best ERA in the MLB. For rotations. The relievers are 14th in MLB in ERA, but it's still 3.52 ERA. The starters have a 3.03 ERA. But I think this goes past that question. This question goes past the numbers here. Can't just look at the numbers, because with a team with the talent of guys like Trout, Ohtani, Rendon, Walsh, and the guys who had an offseason with Syndergaard and others as well, they have so much talent where you would expect the numbers to be there individually and even team-wise somewhat. But I think this 22 Angels has really proven why depth matters. And the big thing with the Angels is they've always struggled to get the pitching to support the offense. But I don't find that completely true, because when you look at their offense over the past few years, it was really just Trout, and then it was Trout and Ohtani, and then they brought in Rendon to try and help that, but Rendon struggled obviously at first. You can't really fault him. 2020 was 2020, and 2021 he struggled with injuries. And he's still trying to get his feet under him this year. But you now have Jared Walsh. So you have Trout, Ohtani, Rendon, and Jared Walsh. And don't forget that you have some solid guys in line like Max Stassi and David Fletcher who are proven. They're not they're not going to be big bats in this lineup, but they're still solid contributors in the bottom part of the order. And then we also going to talk about two guys who are somewhat newer to them, not new, but they're really kind of proving themselves here this year. Brandon Marsh has done very well so far and playing the outfield, and also he's done well in the lineup. He's hitting 286, I think, at the time of recording, and he's at 781 OPS. Is it amazing? No, but it's still good, and it's not like he's hitting third in the lineup. But the big breakout this year for the Angels has been Taylor Ward. Taylor Ward has just been destroying baseballs this year. His OPS is over 1,200 so far. He has been a true breakout star for the Angels this year. Maybe not star, but he's been a true breakout player. I think people maybe expected Taylor Ward to take like a step forward. I don't think anyone expected this. I don't think you could really say expected this. This Angels lineup truly has depth, and because they should be they should have a shot at the playoffs once the trade deadline gets near to us. They can always make a move to fill in the shortstop hole or fill in this or fill in that. And then you also got to look at the pitching staff with this Angels team. The Angels starting rotation, Ohtani, we all know he's very, very good on the mound. He's very good. he's the best pitcher on the team. And so he's their ace. 100% he's their ace. But don't overlook Noah Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard has been very good this year for the Angels and has been solid at the number 2 spot. Obviously, the whole thing with Syndergaard is his health. But if he can stay healthy, that's a solid number 2 for the Angels. A very solid number 2. And then I think once you start looking at rotation, look at probably your third starter in terms of performance this year. Patrick Sandoval has been very good this year. He might be making a case to be a breakout candidate this year as well, because he's been very good. He's clearly been the Angels' third starter, and you can make the argument that he's even pushing Syndergaard and Ohtani for the Angels' best starters so far this year. He's been that good. And then you also add the end rotation, you have Michael Lorenzen, who's been solid this year. And then you got Reed Detmers, who we'll get to him a little bit later, but he's still technically a rookie, even though he got a couple starts last year in 2021. But for a rookie, he's been totally solid. So I think you look at this Angels rotation and it's good, but you also got to look at their bullpen here. You got a guy like Raisel Iglesias in that bullpen. It shuts down the 9th inning. You don't have to worry about it. If you have a lead in the 9th inning, you're probably going to win with Raisel Iglesias in your bullpen. But it goes further than that. They brought in Aaron Loup, Brian Tepera, Archie Bradley to help that bullpen and help get it to Raisel Iglesias with the lead. Archie Bradley's injured right now. He's struggled a little bit start season, but you would expect him to bounce back. He's still Archie Bradley, still a solid reliever. And Loup and Tepera have both been good this year. And they've also gotten contributions from other guys as well. I'm not going to go through their whole bullpen. I don't want to be here forever doing that. But they've gotten contributions from a bunch of people in their bullpen that have made it more solid in getting to Raisel Iglesias in the 9th inning. And that's huge, because if you don't have a lead going into the 9th inning, you're not going to be able to use your guy who just signed to a 4-year deal in the closer spot, because you won't have a lead. So there's no point in bringing him in. And I think that's super important for this Angels team, because the thing is people have always said you have the offense, you just need the pitching. And when it comes to the pitching, and I thought what Reed Detmers did last week against the Rays symbolized where this Angels team is. Reed Detmers, if you haven't heard about it somehow, if you're living under a rock, threw a no-hitter against the Tampa Bay Rays last week. And I think that was that symbolized that the Angels pitching this year is truly there, and it is good enough to make a push this year. I think it was a big big symbol for the Angels, because you look at it's always been the pitching's not there, the pitching's not good enough, the pitching this, pitching that, da. And you see Reed Detmers, and he goes and throws a no-hitter against the Rays, who are constantly a good team. It shows, okay, hold on, they might have something going here. And you start taking a dive into the numbers. Yeah, everything's there numbers-wise, but it's also the feeling-wise. That's why I said at the beginning of this video, it's not just the numbers. There's also a feeling about this team. This Angels team has that feel where if they can just stay healthy, which is still a big if with guys that they have, like Rendon, Trout, Syndergaard, they've all been injured in recent years. But if they can stay healthy, they legitimately can be a contender this year. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. They need to stay healthy. If they don't stay healthy, they're gonna start to struggle a little bit. However, if they don't have any massive injuries, maybe Syndergaard misses a week or two here, or maybe Rendon has to miss a week or two. But if they don't have any massive injuries, that's guys out for a couple months or whatever, this Angels team can pick up the pieces and continue to win. Right now, they are tied with the Astros for first place in the AL West, and they are tied with the Astros and Mets for the second best record in baseball. This Angels team is truly legit, and they can legitimately go and make a run at the World Series this year. Will they win it? I honestly don't know. The big thing is, as baseball fans, we all just want to see Mike Trout in the playoffs. We want to see Ohtani in the playoffs. We want to see these guys on the big stage, because we haven't seen it before. The only time Trout made it to the playoffs, it was everyone, Trout didn't have the thing that he has now, which is now he has this. Yeah, he hasn't made the playoffs, and he's made it once, but like that one time, not like the Angels did anything. So we haven't truly seen Trout in those prime time moments in a World Series, in deep into the playoffs. We haven't seen it. We still haven't seen it for Ohtani. We saw it with Rendon with the Nationals, but the Angels haven't had that, and I think that's going to be huge for the Angels if they don't truly have that experience with some of their guys. But the trade deadline's always a thing, and you can always make a move at the trade deadline. You can always. But I think it also should be noted, the Angels, they have taken some slack for their prospect system not being the deepest, but they have a prime trade candidate in Joe Adell to go make something happen at the trade deadline this year. So you can trade away Joe Adell and bring in something, especially if Marsh and Ward look like they're going to be everyday outfielders. Plus, you have Trout. Your three outfield spots are set. You don't need another starting outfielder. You don't need Joe Adell, so you can always flip him and bring in something. Bring in a shortstop. Bring in this. Bring in that. Bring in some pitching. There's moves for you to make so you can truly make that playoff push and get deep into the playoffs. And I think that's what's going to be important for the Angels. Are they legit contenders this year? In my true opinion, they 100% are legit contenders. And it's the big storyline for me. It's the big storyline of the MLB so far this year. The Angels are truly legit contenders, and if they can just stay healthy, they will make a World Series run. Will they win the World Series? No, but they will push to make the World Series. I'm not going to guarantee that they win it, but you never know. It's October. They have the players who can get hot to do it. Wouldn't surprise me one bit if the Angels were to go on and win the World Series. But that's going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we post. We have Red Sox game recaps. We're going to have our Monday and Friday videos. The Friday video, as this will be the first time I'm revealing this to you guys, the Friday video will be on the AL Central. Who's going to win the AL Central this year? Find out on Friday. And on Wednesday, we'll have a Brain Bayo prospect pipeline, the Red Sox #1 pitching prospect. We'll dive into him and take a look at him. And then obviously the Red Sox game recaps the morning after every single Red Sox game. Those will be posted. Those will be uploaded. So make sure to check those out. And we will have another video on Monday, next Monday, about another team in the big leagues. Wait to see it. We're not going to give it away yet, but you're going to want to check that out. Make sure to look in the description. You'll see the Bleacher Brawls Twitter and the Twitter of the whole entire crew. And then, make sure to follow us because we'll also be doing Twitter Spaces. We're going to have a podcast. If our podcast is started, I'll put it in the description. If not, just keep an eye out for it because we're going to be started it. Also, check out the Bleacher Brawls website. That should be in the description as well. And if there's anything else I've missed, I'll throw it in the description as well. So make sure to look in the description and make sure to look out for our posts because we're going to be uploading every single day. And that's it. This is Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derek. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.